Oh, well, hello, hello, hello.
Hello, here we are. We have a question for you. Helen, take it away.
Do you have a hard time saying no? And we're all not in unison.
Absolutely.
Okay, so hang ten, Sarah. You're Sarah. Would you like to say
Yes,
that?
I'm Szara.
And
That's
I'm
Helen.
Helen.
And
Awesome.
we're committed parenting. And
Yeah.
around here, we're about having conversations about families thrive. And so every Monday to Friday, 12:30 p.m. Pacific, we're holding this conversation. Anything to like really support the conversations of families thriving, and anything
Mm,
that's not thriving to be having a conversation of what kind of things do get in the way of thriving happening.
mm.
And this question about, having a hard time saying no can be one of those things.
Ain't it just?
And I hear it in so many new ways. Like when we started talking about our topic for tonight, it was, or for today, it's not tonight yet. I'm obviously wishful thinking. um, but we were talking about, something that we had planned yesterday with some friends.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like something we were all really looking forward to at one point. It was created. We were going to do our joy parade, and
Yeah.
it was going to be so much fun. And what happened, Helen?
Well, what happened was, oh, it's really great. What happened is every single, I don't know about you, Sarah, but the other people, what happened is their life, however they created their yesterday, whatever that looked like, left them at the end of the day, not in a space to take on the thing on. And it was really interesting because Adrian and I were being so pushed pulled out of the conversation. We really wanted to be with people, and we'd been out and we'd created all these things with the kids, and there was this space of just being home that we also were being pulled by, and it was really tricky to actually say no. And what I can actually hear in the very moment is that we actually defaulted. So what happened is I got a text saying, "Hey, I've been out all day and it really doesn't work this evening." And I'm like, okay, then somebody else is making the decision. Then I don't have to be the one saying no, and it really works for me. That's what I really noticed. But it's not. That's just like a snapshot of how it goes, right? Is I
Hmm.
get caught up by the things that I should be doing, and I can see it with my kids, right? They
Yeah.
make a request. So the current one is, please, will you teach me how to read sheet music? And I'm like, I can totally do that.
I know. Well, and that's what's interesting because it's like often for me, it's like because I can,
Mm,
I should say yes.
yeah,
That's it
that's
right
it.
there. Like if I can, like, shouldn't I say yes? What does that mean about me if I'm saying no if I can?
Mm, really
Okay,
good,
well, I
Sarah.
guess I'm obligated. And all of a sudden, right there, obligation happens. It's like,
Mm.
well, I can, so I should say yes. Okay, fine, let's create a time. And then because I like to do things, joyously or happily, like I'll like make myself feel great about doing it.
I love this conversation, just so you know.
Oh, it's
Ah,
funny. But then it's like interesting because then there's this background kind of like resent or like also then like if I do something out of obligation or expectation, I notice then that an expectation arises where I am, like especially with my child, for example. Like my
mhm.
child should then appreciate this. Like they really should appreciate, what it's taking for me to do something, because just like, I can do it and I'm going to do it. So then even that same conversation I'll sometimes put on my child. They can do it, so they should do it. Like that's
So
actually something I
brilliant.
hear over there with them. Like, oh, that shows up so much. And I look at them, if they say no, it's like I want to give them all the space to actually say no and have choice. But I notice there's an instant reaction. If I know they can do something and they say no, I'm like, well, I don't even know what to be. Like, I don't even know how to be with that.
Man, that's brilliant. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah. And especially for those teenagers, actually, it really shows up because it's like they can do things or can do certain things. And like, then there's this expectation that like they should. And like, wow, I see it actually starts over here where I am,
Yeah.
because I won't say no, or because I won't even look. It's not even that I won't say no. It's like I won't even look or consider no an option.
Yes, it's that.
It's more that like it's like literally if I can, the answer is yes. And it's
Oh,
like,
it should
whoa,
be
that's
yes.
way
If
too
I
quickly.
if I can, I it should be yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's not even a space to look. It's like, and like it's interesting because if I just paused and
Mm-hmm.
like if I got asked something and I just paused from that, it's like, okay, well, I can.
Mm.
Okay, it should be yes. Do I want to? Does it work? Does it
I
forward anything?
Well, and what is my intention?
Yeah. Yeah. And because it's interesting too, because then I missed the opportunity. What I just even heard in that, I missed
Mm-hmm.
the opportunity to set it up powerfully and to have real connection.
Mm.
Because like if I actually look like say they like somebody came to one of my children came and asked me to do something and it's like right away it's like okay I should say yes, but
Mm.
it's like asking, just pausing to even ask, what am I committed to?
Mm. It is.
Asking myself, what am I committed to? And like looking for myself right now, maybe I'm committed, like, because throughout my day and throughout my week and throughout my month, I'm going to be committed to some different aspects. And like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm really committed to honoring myself at that time. And then I could actually just speak to it. It's like, well, I'm really creating myself a day right now. And actually, I can't see how that fits in.
Mm.
And then there's all this space to talk and create something,
Mm.
or if it does actually work and I'm like, what am I committed to? And it's like, oh, I'm committed to actually like close connection time with my child and wow, some close, time together. And this could actually be this could actually be the mechanism for that. Then it's like, wow, I would hop, skip, and jump to it. And we would
Mm.
have like such beautiful connection and not just
Mm.
me laying more expectation onto it because I'm doing something out of expectation.
Okay, I actually really want us to stop there
Okay.
because this is such a powerful conversation, and I don't want to load too much into it.
Mm,
Like it's literally like if we could just stop where we are right now and explore, we would uncover a whole world. Like honestly.
yeah. Well, so much happens in that request of, hey, mom, can you do this or will you do this or
Mm-hmm.
do this for me or does this work? And like the measurement, the test for myself is I can, therefore I must.
Therefore, yeah, yeah,
And like what does that create?
yeah. And it's not like we shouldn't be doing those things.
Hmm. But it's how we're doing it. It's like that
Exactly.
the whole background inside of
Yeah.
what's giving us, right? Like our commitment, we're not given by a commitment all of a sudden. We're given by a reaction. I'm given by an I must. I'm giving, and because especially for myself, like as soon as there's an obligation or I have to do something, it's like I'm not going to be doing it overly happily,
Yeah.
or I have to force myself or drive myself
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah. And then we're back to the drive. And my contention is whenever we're driven, we're not present. We're not actually present.
Yeah,
So nothing else actually gets to live other than, the
it
having to
becomes
get
like
this done.
like it's getting it through it. It's like getting to
Mm-hmm.
the other side of it. It's that
Mm-hmm.
survival of it. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, I'm becoming to check that box. Fine, it's done. I did what I said I was going to do there. And now and it is, it's like it ends up being almost like transactional. It
Mm.
ends being very like,
Really
well,
good.
I did that for you, so now there's an expectation that you're either going to appreciate me doing it for you to a degree that I see fit, or there's like, hey, just you need to say yes to me next time I ask you to do
Exactly.
something.
Exactly.
And it doesn't become freedom, it doesn't become this space of like love and connection and really being with, or even autonomy, or even like honoring oneself, or even looking.
And it's
It's
almost,
amazing how much is there actually.
yeah. And I just heard how rote we are.
Yeah,
I
it just
can,
does.
therefore I will, and therefore then we have this whole cascade of, roteness.
Yeah. And it all comes from like, and that's where it's interesting, because like what I'm actually hearing as an opportunity is like, well, first of all, every time I see myself saying yes, it's like, what an opportunity to check in.
Mm.
Like, where's my yes coming from right now? But I also see such a freaking fun opportunity to like play with no,
Mm.
and it's like one thing that's really important to me as a
Mm.
commitment for my kids is my kids have autonomy.
Mm.
Like that's really important to me.
Mm.
And with that, like they have no, like no's are really your access to autonomy. Like, you get to say no for anything. And if I'm not free to say no, how am I teaching my kids that? And I'm not teaching them that, because I'm teaching them that they owe it something to me. It's transactional. I've done this for this, so they have to do that for me. And there's no autonomy, really. There's no actual looking. There's a few things in there.
It's brilliant though, right? They're always thought that happen. We want our kids to be able to say no. And most basically, right? And yet, how we are is that we actually train them to say yes a lot.
Yeah. I'm training them to be just like me. I'm training them to say yes out of obligation. I'm training them to say yes because they can. And they don't really have a right to say no to things if they can do it. But like, I'm taking away their autonomy and their rightness, and I'm actually training them out of their nose.
Yeah.
Because somehow it's easier, and like it's like makes my day like more smooth if like I ask something and then they can be all these yeses, and it's like perfect. But it's not. And it's like such a different way to see like those no's from our kids, like see those no's in a toddler, and see those no's in a 5-year-old, and no's in an 8-year-old, and no's in your teenagers. Like, actually, wow, like I just even hear, I want to celebrate their no's. Like, I want to be like, yes, you go ahead and say no, you do that. Yeah, like that's your autonomy. You get to own that. It's like, it's a totally different way for me to even view their no, as opposed to when I hear their no, like the feathers up or the reaction happening or the what?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, whoa, what an opportunity to actually like, you go, guy. You say your no. You tell me. Yeah.
I just wonder if that leaves people with like, they should be always accept, like be okay, accept there's not the word, you know what I mean? Be okay with everybody's no. Like, I don't know. There's some part about the usefulness of no's in our lives. I don't know how to say this. I'm not being clear. I'm going to try again. I'm totally with you. I can totally hear what you said. And when people say no, there's also a consequence to saying no, just like there's a consequence to saying yes, though, right? And I'm just curious about that. I don't think you and I are saying, well, I'm not saying that you have to agree with every no you give, right?
No, for sure. And what I hear though is that there's like whole worlds of discovery in it, actually, to hearing the no. And that's what I'm celebrating. Okay. Those kids that say no, it's like, great, there's a whole world, and there could be a conversation that comes right after their no. But what I hear the first point, like for me, like usually when I hear the no, reaction, roteness, mechanics take over. There's a battle, it's something happens like that. It's kind of like, I don't even have to tell you this scenario, but you can picture it, because that's what happens. A no happens. And it's like, what I'm hearing is the opportunity is a no happens. And it's like, yeah, like, it's like right away, it's like a respect for the no. It's like an honoring of the no. It's like I see the alignment to my commitment. I see actually that the no is a representation to that autonomy and that child practicing their muscle of autonomy.
Really great.
Right. And like in that, there might be times that a further conversation is still needed because the no doesn't work. Like we have to go to that appointment and it's a requirement. You know, but like it's a different kind of conversation. It's like you can hear the no, you can say the no, you can be like, yeah, like, way to go. I hear you really don't want to do that, and you have a right to say no. And like I'm glad this could be a space you could say no.
Exactly.
And you know, we have this appointment, and your health is of, a great matter. Like, what's needed, and what's needed for this to work, or what's needed for you to be a yes, or what's missing, or like a conversation then gets to happen.
Exactly. Rather than riding roughshod, like right from the start. I'm looking for a yes, I'm getting a yes, at the cost of everything else. Yeah. Really great.
Because often that no is just an instantaneous reaction. And I see it's inside of me not giving myself permission to say no. And even with my no, it's funny because like just giving myself the space and permission to say no, my no might become a yes.
Exactly.
Right? Like if a child comes up to me, like your example of sheet music, it's like, I might be like, no way, I'm not doing that today. But just getting the moment to be like, no. And then, wait, what am I committed to? Oh, actually, wait, come back here. Come back. I actually
Exactly.
see that would actually forward what really matters. And let's do this. Like the no almost gives space for a yes at the end.
It does. It really
Like a
does.
real, honest, authentic yes, as opposed to a
Exactly.
yes of expectation and obligation.
Exactly.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, no, I'm so with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like permission to say no, permission for them to say no, permission for no to be and honored.
Yeah.
It's like that's an
Exactly.
important skill. And like if we look at our kids, like what we want to teach them, there are times where we want their no to be heard.
Well, that's
I want
exactly
my
it.
children to be able to say powerful no's growing up. And that's something actually that, I'm 40 some years old and I don't really have a powerful no.
Mm.
I'm learning more of it. And like it can be there more than it ever has been. But I don't want my kids to have that many years of having to figure that out.
And our no will come out in other ways, Szara. That's the thing. We think just when we don't say no and we don't have a powerful no, that somehow it's just us. There's always an outcome from that, right? When we don't say what's there, when we don't say no powerfully, there's an outcome. There's an outflow from it.
Yeah. Oh, I can hear right there for myself when I don't actually say no and I'm doing something out of obligation. There's a whole outcome, and there's like people are going to pay, like, and it's not as direct or as insidious, but it actually shows up as insidious in a way. Like,
it is,
the love and connection are not in the space.
Exactly.
That like that presence, that like there's distance, there's something else there.
Yeah, but it does. It's actually, I think, part of what builds walls between people, even when we're not intending to do so, right? We're looking like we actually care, but actually we're building a wall.
Yeah, absolutely. So
wow,
this is a good conversation to keep digging into for yourself if you're listening and viewing. Like, look for yourself. Like, do you have freedom to say no? What happens right when a request comes to you? When your child comes up to you and makes a request?
Yeah.
What's right there for you? And just explore that for yourself. Explore what's a have to, a should, a must. What kind of thing do you tell yourself about yeses and nos?
It's brilliant.
Really interesting thing to just get to understand about ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, go inquire. Have people ask you a lot of questions. Ask you a lot of requests.
Yeah.
See what happens.
And play with it.
Yeah. And I hear for myself, my takeaway is like, wow, I really want to play with that no, and giving myself and my kids permission for that no.
Yeah. It's brilliant. Brilliant.
Awesome. All right. Well, that completes this conversation today.
It does. And we'll be back tomorrow at 12:30.
We will be for conversations of Families Thrive. So we look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.